Hey, this is Kisha from Kisha's Kingdom Vacation. And today, basically, I just wanted to talk about planning a Disney cruise within 90 days. So if you're not following us on Facebook and Instagram, you may not know that me and my husband are planning an adult-only Disney vacation. And we are going on the Disney Wish. We planned this about 90 days out, which was pretty last minute for me. So I just wanted to kind of go through the steps in case that helps you if you're looking at some of these great deals that Disney's got going on. And if you have questions about what deals Disney may have going on, always look at the description below and I will put my email and you can reach out. So step one is what we did. Neither one of us had valid passports. We are going out of the country. So that was helpful. Now, Disney Cruise Line, if you were doing a closed loop, as in you were starting, say, at Port Canaveral, and you end your cruise at Port Canaveral, you could cruise with just a birth certificate, depending on where you're going. We're going to the Bahamas, so we could have done that. However, we just like having the passports, and we plan to go different places later. And so we just went ahead and decided to do the passport route. So we expedited our passports. We did pay for the expedited processing, and we also paid for the overnight shipping once our passports were processed. And we did that. So we booked the cruise about 90 days. I would say within 6 weeks, maybe, we both had passports in hand. And that was probably even considering I had to redo my passport photo. They did not take the original one I did, even though they took my husband's and we were at the same place. So I had to redo that and send it back off, but it was still about 6 weeks. We have both passports, which is pretty great. So I would highly recommend that. I think it was worth the money to have the peace of mind of having the passport in case, God forbid, anything happened while we were, in the Bahamas and we needed a med flight out or anything like that. I think the second thing we did was we do not have children, but we do have 3 dogs. 2 of the dogs have never been boarded, and so trying to find a boarder that would take our Aussies, that would be a good fit for them, and doing the meet and greets, making sure we have all the criteria as far as shots, things like that, was probably the next thing, because you have to schedule all the out. That was the next thing we did. So if you had kids, I would definitely obviously think of childcare if they are not going with you. Pet care was definitely happening probably within the first month of us booking the trip. We were trying to already schedule that and figure that out, and even kind of having some backup plans in case something fell through. I would say after that we pretty much didn't have to do a ton, except for Disney, depending on what Castaway Club member you are, you can start booking excursions at different points, depending on Castaway Club membership. And so we had to start thinking pretty much immediately, hey, what's left? What excursions do we want? Things like that. Or if you wanted an excursion, it's pretty popular on Disney Cruise Line where people will take the cruise and not actually ever get off the ship, which is kind of surprising. I usually typically get off the ship, but you know, you cruise how you want to cruise. Disney does an amazing job of shows and entertaining you on the ship, and so I totally see why people may opt, if they've already been to a destination, or maybe it's not their favorite destination, to stay on the ship and enjoy what Disney has to offer. Other than that, I would say that so far we have got our passports. We have figured out lodging for our dogs while we're away. We figured out our excursions. While we were figuring out the excursions, we decided for us, we were driving. Our ship is leaving out of Port Canaveral, which is kind of a drive for us. But we have a friend that's going with us. And so we are just all going to ride together down there. We're going to go the night before, which is advised, so you don't have to worry about traffic, delayed flights. If you're going to fly, I would definitely recommend flying in the night before, so you don't have to worry about what if my flight gets delayed, what if it gets canceled, what am I going to do? You can kind of have a plan B if that happens, because once the ship leaves, you know, it will leave you, for sure. And so we decided that we were going to stay at one of the Disney resorts while we're there, just to give it a little extra magic. So we are driving the day before, and taking advantage of the Epcot After Hours event that is happening. So I definitely highly recommend that. If you're going the night before, look at what Disney has to offer. Some of their hotels are just as cheap as any other hotels. You may just be about 45 minutes, an hour away from port. But you get a little extra Disney magic of getting to be close to the Disney World Park, which I enjoy. And you may have extra events going on. I think when we're there, there's actually a ton of special events that they're happening. They are ticketed events, so you would have to pay for them. But I think Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is going on. Disney's After Hour events are happening at Hollywood Studios and Epcot. We just happened to be choosing Epcot. It was the night that went with our trip. But there's a lot of options. And their resorts are amazing. So I'd highly recommend. After we got that booked, we have, now that we've reached closer to that month before, we're a few weeks away, we had to check in for the port arrival time. So you'll hear a lot of people post like PAT if you're in the Facebook groups. Your port arrival time, the only reason people are going to get on at midnight and make sure, like, whenever they can do their online check-in based on their Castaway Club level, is to get on the ship sooner. If you're wanting to get on as soon as you can, you want to make the most of your trip, you want to get there, you know, right at 11, right at 12, even though we won't embark until maybe 3 or 4. It's a cool way to really get the bang for your buck as far as the Disney cruise experience. So that's something to consider, regardless of what Castaway Club level you are. Maybe think about having all your stuff together. There's a few things that you need to get together to be able to check in, which is your information, an emergency contact, someone that is not traveling with you, their information. You're going to want a picture. This is going to go on your Keys to the World or your ID on the ship. You will also want a picture of your documentation, which you're going to use, so whether that's passport or your birth certificate. Have photos of all that, or uploads to where you can upload it during your check-in. And it will also ask you if you're flying in beforehand, where you're staying. Are you flying out? Are you staying somewhere and flying out the next day? It's going to ask some of that information. And so, just keep all that in mind before check-in, because the quicker you can get checked in, it could mean the difference between having a 1 o'clock port arrival time and a 11 o'clock port arrival time. We checked in recently, and so we'll be there around 12:30, which isn't bad. And any port arrival time is not really bad. It's just depending on when you want to be on the ship. Just also remember that you cannot get to port until that port arrival time. So they will not let you in the port terminal till then. You can't get there early. The only exception in that is if you flew in and you're staying at a Disney hotel, you're using Disney transportation to get to the port, you will get to check in whenever that bus gets you there. So that is one benefit of using the Disney transportation versus we are driving. So we are actually physically driving from a Disney resort to the port. so we won't be able to get there before 12:30. But yeah, that's just a few things that we've done leading up to our trip. Another few things that we've done is just get some things that we might like for our trip. Door magnets, fish extenders. We've also gotten bathing suits, maybe like new updated bathing suits. We also got some pirate stuff for pirate night. And just a few things like that. We've ordered off of Amazon to prep for the cruise. And honestly, just anything that we think we need. I've got kind of set aside in a bag of what we would need for our trip, just to make it super smooth, super easy, so there's really no stress. And a lot of these things that you need to know, that is the benefit of having a travel agent help you with it. If you have a travel agent, they're going to know what day your check-in is. They're going to know, hey, get your picture ready for check-in, your passport, take a photo of it, take a photo of your birth certificate, whichever way you're doing it. They're going to tell you everything that you need prior to when you need it. If you have a travel agent. A travel agent is just so beneficial. It's absolutely free. Even if you don't use me, utilize, if you know one in your area, just utilize them and help. For one, you're helping their small business, but two, there's just so much knowledge that they get. Travel agents have access to the Disney's College of Knowledge that they can re-up every year and stay in the know of what's happening. There's also just so much information. A lot of these travel agents go on these trips. Like me and my husband, we go to Disney and we go to Universal and we go on the Disney cruises. And there's something to be said about someone that goes on these trips that has been there, done that, and they tell you what you need to know, so you don't have to stress about it. You don't have to know, okay, well, I need to get there on midnight to get maybe an earlier slot, or to get the Royal Gathering reservation that happens on the Disney Wish, or just other things like what dining options are on that ship. Maybe your kids love Marvel, so Disney Wish would be awesome because they have a Marvel dining restaurant that is part of the rotational dining. Just cool things like that. Takes a lot of the pressure off, a lot of the stress off. So definitely consider that. If you are a type of person that likes to plan, you can still totally do that with a travel agent, and then they're just kind of your POC. If you have any questions and you can't find the answer, they can find it out for you. So yeah, I hope this helped you. I'll also be, once we get closer to our trip, I'll try to do a video showing what we're packing for our trip, and any other things kind of leading up to our trip. But right now we're pretty much good to go. We've done online check-in for a resort at Disney. We have already got our Epcot after hours tickets, which we're super stoked about, to ride Cosmic Rewind. And we have got our luggage tags for our cruise luggage, and we have everything checked off, good to go. We've got our documents. Really at this point, all we like is packing. We've already got our excursions booked, which we're super stoked about. But yeah, is there anything that you guys do on your planning side when you are planning a cruise? Is there anything you've done, if you planned a last minute one, that you would recommend people do, maybe, or not do? Just leave it in the comments. Hope you all have a great trip. Thanks.